What is going on, YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank you all so much for joining Dustin and myself for this being our review for 90 Day Fiance, Season 12, Episode 10. A couple things I want y'all to do before we get started. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big white subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. It takes less than a second to mash that thing. So why don't you go ahead and mash it for a brother? Also, be sure to leave a thumbs up for this video. Let me know you enjoyed the content I'm putting out on my channel. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the various couples we're discussing on tonight's review. And also be sure to press notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Real quick announcement, I will be releasing my reviews for RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 11. I believe it's episode 12, if I'm not mistaken. That will be released by Wednesday, as well as my review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta this week. They came back from a break for the 4th of July. So I will be releasing my reviews for both of those shows at least by Wednesday. If not tomorrow, they will be out by the end of the day on Wednesday. Dustin, how you doing today?
I'm here.
All right.
We're here. I'm here, but having a rough time right now. But I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we will soldier through. We will soldier through. Aaron D is in the building. Hey, Aaron. Aaron sends hearts to us. We love you so much,
hey,
Aaron. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Yes, thank you so much
for being here.
Thanks so much for joining us. And Auntie Robin says, "Hey to Aaron."
Hey,
that
Aaron.
is.
Hey, Auntie Robin. How you doing? How you doing?
All right. And then Auntie Robin is also in the comments. She says, "Hi, Dustin. How are you doing?"
Hi, Auntie Robin.
All right. So let's start out. Hold on. We got another comment from Auntie Robin here. And then this last comment from Auntie Robin says, "Hi, Joe Nathan." Hello, Auntie Robin. So glad that you're here with us, boo. All right, so let's get into this review. So since we have all 7 couples, I told Dustin that we'll try to keep it a little bit short because I typically don't like my reviews going over an hour. So I apologize if it's not the full review that you guys are used to, but I'm just trying to keep up with my time management here.
Trying to make it faster a bit. Trying to make it as quick as we can.
Yeah, let's start out with the couple that gave us the least this episode, which was Katie and Josh. So Katie goes out for a run and a talk with her friend Ryan. Her friend Ryan, who she has had sexual relations with, and Josh is not necessarily that comfortable with her being so close to. And they have a really clear conversation about what are your plans with Josh? Do you really want to marry him? And Katie seems really unsure of herself as to whether this is what she really wants.
Unsure.
And Ryan asked her a really valid question that I would love to ask Josh. And he asked Katie, "Why do you think that Josh keeps forgiving you? Why do you think Josh keeps coming back to you?" And that's the question that I want to ask Josh myself. And Katie,
so do I.
Like Katie doesn't have the answer. Katie doesn't know. And we don't know as viewers. We don't know either. It's so confusing to me. So Katie is really straddling the fence right now because she doesn't want to lose the people that she loves the most in her life. However, she does not want to stop doing the things that causes her to lose the people that she loves most in her life. So Katie is really at a crossroads where she really has to make a decision right now as to whether she's going to keep on doing what she has been doing to make herself happy while in the midst of losing friends, or is she going to consider the people that are closest to her and the actions that make them want to leave her life and change how she does things from now on?
I don't think she's going to change.
I don't think so either, Dustin. Auntie Robin's in the comments. She says, "I have a new take on Katie." Oh, okay. I wonder if her diagnosis isn't MICA, medically ill, chemically addicted. Oh, okay. I've never heard of that before, Auntie Robin. She also says,
before, so thank you for telling me that.
The chemical addiction is alcohol. Okay. I think she has an undiagnosed mental health condition. Absolutely. As I've said before, I feel as though she's on the spectrum. She really likens all of her bad deeds to OCD, which doesn't make much sense to me because OCD is when you're overly over you're overly worried about certain things, specific things, and
Right.
you go back to them, checking the car, making sure it's locked over 5 times, things of that nature. But that does not make you drink and kiss everyone. So, yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, Auntie Robin. Um, Dustin, I don't think that there's anything that Katie can do for Josh to leave her. I have
Mm-mm.
a feeling Katie's going to end up dumping Josh at the end of the day. What
I
What are your
don't think
thoughts on
she.
their
I
relationship?
don't think she's gonna leave anytime soon. It'd be
Yeah.
surprising if they do. Um, you know. But honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. But we're gonna wait and see because I don't know what. Um,
Yeah. Like I said, I don't.
I feel like he needs to leave her, but I don't think he's going to. Mm-mm.
I don't think he's going to either. I think Katie's going to have to break up with him, and I hope that she does. I hope that she does because I honestly don't see Josh leaving Katie at all. But they have
Well,
no
I
business
think
being
they both
together.
deserve better.
Right. Both of them deserve better for sure. Katie
Right.
deserves a person that she can, no, Katie just needs to be single until she feels as though she's ready to settle down. And she
Right.
may never get to that point to where she wants to settle down. There are plenty of people who have never been married a day in their life and they might be in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s. So, it's different for everyone. Everyone doesn't want that. Auntie
Yeah.
Robin says Katie won't leave because she can't imagine anyone else putting up with her behavior. I can see some validity in that for sure, Auntie Robin. Don't nobody want to put up with Katie and her
I
shenanigans.
understand that. Right. Definitely.
Let's move on to Thomas and Paula. So Thomas and Paula are still in Charlotte, North Carolina, with Thomas's father and his stepmother. Paula has this nice little miniature suitcase that she's going to give to Thomas's stepmother. And his father as well, which is sort of kind of an invitation to their wedding. She has a note on the suitcase as well, hoping that they will come to their wedding. So they're on a makeshift grill outside. They're grilling burgers. They've got vegan burgers for Paula, which is so great. I'm so glad that they're considering her dietary needs. So that was awesome to see. And then they let Thomas's father and stepmother know about their wedding plans.
Yeah.
They tell them the father, of course, asks who's all going to be there. Thomas says a couple uncles, cousins, his people in his family, and also his mother. And then Thomas's father goes on to tell us that when Thomas was 10 years old and his sister was, I think, 6 years old, and I think he might have been 8 and his sister was 6. Either way, when they were really young, under the age of 10, Thomas's father received full custody of Thomas and his sister, and his mother was apparently not in their lives, or not in their lives in a meaningful way. Um, let's see. Auntie Robin says Thomas and Paula has a bed and a sleeping emoji. Yeah, they are a little bit boring, I will say, compared
Mm-hmm.
to other couples. And so apparently, I now see why Thomas's father and his stepmother have so many ill wills or ill feelings about Thomas's biological mother because it sounds as though she ran out on Thomas and his sister. And I can
I
understand
can agree with that.
right. I can understand the amounts of vitriol that Thomas's father might be feeling when you've
Uh,
left me stranded with our 2 children to take care of them on my own. I understand now why not only Thomas's father, but especially Thomas's stepmother, why they have these feelings towards Thomas. However, when it comes to situations like this, I feel as though the parents have to give their children free reign to have relationships with the parents that they choose. And
I
Thomas,
agree.
of course, Thomas does not forget the fact that his mother left him and his sister and his father all alone. But maybe somewhere in Thomas, he still has a need for that connection with his mother. And if he wants to introduce his fiance to his mother and his mother seemed to get along, when we saw the pictures of Thomas's mother, her face was blurred out. So apparently she's not going to appear on the season of 90 Day Fiance. However, I applaud Thomas for allowing bygones be bygones, allowing the past to be the past, and moving forward with a relationship with
Well,
his mother.
you gotta move forward no matter what, Jonathan.
You do,
That goes for anybody. You know. Yes,
absolutely
yes, it's harder to move on. It's harder to move forward,
right, and
especially when you don't have the support that you need. I can say that because I go through it on a daily basis. So I go through it on a daily basis, and I have to move forward, even though it hurts. I have to move forward, and you know, you,
Absolutely. We all have to move forward. And I don't blame Thomas's father for feeling the way he feels about the biological mother of Thomas and his sister.
right.
However, he can't allow, or he should not make Thomas suffer for
I
his
get that.
want and need to have a relationship with his
Right.
mother. So I think Thomas's father needs to have a conversation with his wife, Thomas's stepmother, about boundaries. And you know, Thomas's mother did what she did in the past, but
Right.
clearly Thomas has forgiven her. Thomas's father does not have to forgive her. Thomas's, stepmother, even though there's no forgiveness in the room, because she has nothing to do with their situation, but they have to be okay with Thomas forging a relationship with his biological mother.
So what do you
They
think
have
about
to
the
become that.
wedding? I mean, how do you think the wedding's going to turn out? Because he wants to have the mom at the wedding, and I don't think it's going to turn out that well. I don't
To
think
be to be honest, judging from Thomas asking his father and his stepmother to come to their wedding and him saying, "We'll have to try to figure this out," I don't think they're going to go. And I feel as though Thomas has to respect that decision. I think Thomas has to respect that decision if they decide not to come to his wedding. Now, I feel as though Thomas's father and stepmother should be able to let their differences set to the side, at least momentarily, for Thomas's wedding. They don't have to interact with her. They don't have to say hi to her. They don't have to even acknowledge her. But if they were just there for Thomas and his wedding, when he gives you the question of, are you going to come to our wedding? I feel as though their answer should be yes. Don't let your negative thoughts concerning Thomas's mother, biological mother, stop you from being there on one of the most important days of Thomas's life.
hmm
However, at the same time, I do respect their decision not to go if they don't go.
hmm
It's a really hard situation to talk about.
Right. It's a hard
I
situation being
respect
because
all sides
yeah.
at the same time. I really do. Anything else to say about Thomas and Paula, Dustin, before we move on?
No, I hope you're the best. I hope you're the best, and I hope we can all hope you can all figure it out.
Absolutely.
I hope the best, and
Let's move on to Debbie and Mito. It really
uh,
seems as though Debbie and Mito, although my mother did tell me that they've allegedly got married. I don't know exactly how true that is, and I don't know if I necessarily believe that, especially watching them on this episode.
I don't believe it.
So Debbie takes Mito out. They are back in the same house now. Back in the house, the new apartment that they got, after they realized they didn't have enough room for three people in one place. So, she goes out on a walk with him and they sit by the lake. And, Debbie's trying to have this conversation with Mito. And the biggest thing that stuck out to me the most in this conversation is Debbie telling Mito that she loves him and Mito not giving her that same reciprocation, not telling her that he loves that, not telling
Yeah,
her that he
that's a
loves
red
her
flag
as
to me.
well. And also, Debbie goes on to say, "I know that you love you," and Debbie goes on to say, "I know that you love me." And then Mito's response to that is, "Okay, excellent, great. It's great that you say that."
Yeah,
It's clear that Mito has no romantic interest in Debbie right now, at least right now. I don't know if he ever had any romantic
I
interest
don't think he
in
ever
Debbie
did.
whatsoever. And so then Debbie and Mito are back at the place, back at the apartment. I don't know why my eyes itching right now so much, you guys. I apologize
You
for that.
okay?
That is so unprofessional. But anyways, and so Debbie's daughter walks in, and Mito is sitting there on the couch looking at his headshots for his acting career,
Yeah,
and Debbie is on the computer on their laptop at the dining room table. And Debbie's daughter is like, "It seems kind of tense in here." And Mito's response is, "I need some peace and quiet. Could you please give me some peace and quiet?" So Debbie and her daughter, they go out for manis and petties. Debbie's daughter is asking her all the right questions. What are you thinking? Do you think this relationship is going to work? And Debbie keeps on saying, "We just need time." Debbie seems extremely desperate. When you see that this man is not even willing to tell you that he loves you, he's creating a barrier in the bed for the two of you of pillows so that you don't touch him. They
Mhm.
barely even kiss. I've only seen them kiss maybe 2 or 3 times
I haven't
this
either.
season, on the lips at least. Now, there have been quite a few kisses on the cheek and here and there, but only 2 or 3 kisses on the lips. Auntie Robin says you probably all allergic to that cat on on your chest. Yes, I'm wearing a Catwoman shirt I got from Hot Topic a long time ago. That could be it. I hope I'm not allergic to cats because I really would want a cat one day. I much prefer a cat over a dog any day, at least personally.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Debbie's daughter is having some great doubts about Debbie's relationship with Mito, and I don't know if these couples have a contractual obligation to ride the entire season out together, and I'm hoping that is the case because I see no other reason for Debbie to be holding on to Mito the way that she is. And we saw in the preview for the next episode that Debbie takes Mito to a chapel. I don't know if
Yeah,
she has
seen that part.
to marry Mito right then and there or what, but Mito says, I think it's time for me to go back home. And Debbie freaks out about it. So, Dustin, what are your thoughts on Debbie and Mito? Do you why I don't know why Mito's still there. I don't know why he hasn't gotten the flight back home to Egypt
I
yet.
think he needs to go back home. That's what I just like. I don't think it's gonna work out. So I've
Is
been saying, I've been saying this from episode one, and I will continue to say it to the very end.
yeah,
They're not happy, and I don't. And they're not happy. Life is very short, Jonathan. And if you're not happy, then why make yourself miserable? You know what I mean?
I definitely agree with that for sure.
Right.
Debbie's clearly not happy. Mito's clearly not happy. I don't know why they're still together. I don't know why. It boggles my mind for sure. It
Right.
boggles my ever loving mind. So let's move on with Shay and Annabelle. So Shay and Annabelle didn't do too much in this particular episode. However, we saw a continuation of Shay's birthday celebration. They had music, everyone's drinking, everyone's having an amazing time. Annabelle is over in the corner, sitting in a lawn chair
Well, Annabelle didn't like
with
it.
a
She didn't
sour
like it. So.
with a sour look on her face. She does not like the
Mhm.
fact that Shay is inebriated. Someone asked Shay how many drinks he's had. He said maybe about 4 or 5. Annabelle says, no, you've had about 20 drinks. Shay is getting close to a couple of the women at the party. He's dancing with a couple of them. I don't see anything really out of line. Everyone says that, that Shay is, very flirtatious, and that's just his personality. Lady Virgo is here. Hey, Lady Virgo, so
Yeah,
glad
Virgo.
you're here. Lady Virgo says, good evening, everyone. And happy
Mhm.
Monday to you all. And happy Monday to you, Lady Virgo, as well. Oh, also, another announcement really quickly before we move on with before we move on with with who were we just talking about? Hold on. Please give me a moment. I don't forgot who we were talking about already, child. That's how much I care about these people. Yes, Shay and Annabelle. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Had a brain fart real
And
quick. But
Annabelle, sorry about that.
anyways,
I forgot about it too.
yeah. So Annabelle says she's going back inside of the lake house. She's gonna lay down. Shay's like, you're embarrassing me, and you just have a good time. And I get why Annabelle would not want to see Shay being flirtatious with other women. I get that. But it's almost as if Annabelle does not know who she's with. Like, how do you not know that this is Shay's personality? How do you not know that Shay likes to be flirtatious with other women and not trust that he won't go too far with them? Like, I don't get why Annabelle is not understanding who Shay is. Like, it's confusing me. It's really confusing me why Annabelle is so surprised to see these things coming from Shay, as though she's completely unaware of it. It really does confuse me. And one of Shay's friends does say, Shay's been really flirtatious with me. He's the most flirtatious man I've ever met, and this and that. And they're just pushing this narrative that Shay is this flirtatious person, but I don't think that he's physically cheated on her yet. Like, I don't think that he has. Auntie Robin says hello to Lady Virgo. And then we have another comment from Auntie Robin, and then we'll move on to Dustin's thoughts on Shay and
Sure.
Annabelle. Because as far as I'm concerned, if Annabelle cannot accept Shay as he is right now, she might as well go back
You
to
might
the
as well go back to where her country's at.
because he's not going to change at all. Auntie Robin says Annabelle knowing who and how Shay is, right? doesn't negate her discomfort. And I can agree. I can agree with that as well, Auntie Robin. You know, she doesn't want to see it, and I can understand that, and I can respect that as well. And I think that's why she wanted to go into the house, to not have to see any of that anymore. And I was a little bit upset with Shay saying that Annabelle was embarrassing him. I thought that was taking it a little bit too far. Annabelle was just uncomfortable. And I wish that Annabelle would have been able to voice that, to tell Shay that it's uncomfortable for me to see you dancing and getting close with other women. Like, communication is everything in a relationship, and you have to keep that communication open between yourself and your partner. Dustin, what are your thoughts overall on Shay and Annabelle this episode? Were you
Well,
surprised that
I think
Annabelle
they're
wanted
gonna.
to go back into the lake house?
Yeah, I think they're gonna struggle. I think they have already been struggling with the relation with the thing with the relationship. With the marriage or whatever you call it. I think they're gonna struggle because I don't think they're on the same page. Like I always say, you have to be on a wavelength. If not, you're gonna be you're gonna be falling apart. So, um, I think that she does better off to go back where she came from. I don't get me wrong. I love Annabelle and I love Shay, but I think there's too many differences. Hmm.
Yeah.
And
And to piggyback on what you just said, Auntie Robin, it doesn't negate the fact that she's uncomfortable. But if you know that your significant other has characteristics that make you uncomfortable, you either deal with it or you leave. I don't know if Annabelle's just choosing to deal with it because she's on a TV show and she's possibly contractually obligated to stay there, or if she's just trying to find the best way to deal with it. And I hope that Annabelle can find a way, if she wants to stay with Shay for the long term, I hope that she can find a way to deal with it and accept that that is a part of his personality, that he's just a flirt, and that's just who he is at his core. Once again, I've said this plenty of times during my reviews this season 12. I don't see Shay physically cheating on Annabelle, like as far as having sex with someone else. He may be flirtatious with someone else. He might be kissing someone else. And once again, you have to have that conversation about boundaries with your partner as to what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And they
right,
clearly have not had that conversation yet. Auntie Robin says down here in the comments, that's why Shay should have endorsed her going inside. Should have, yes, endorsed her going inside. That was her way to cope. And I can agree with that. And I can understand that, Auntie Robin, as well, that,
right.
she didn't want to stop Shay from having his fun. She just wanted to exclude herself from the entire equation. And I can respect that as well. So it's difficult to talk about Shay and Annabelle because I want to root for them so bad, but Annabelle
I
is
try to root for them, but I try to root for them, but I also have to look at the bigger picture. Hmm.
right. And Annabelle, this is clearly a sore spot for Annabelle, and I don't think she's ever going to get over Shay's flirtatiousness. And if she can't get over it, I don't see her being with him for the long run. I really don't. Let's move on to Marissa and Edward.
Okay, where do I begin with that? People.
I'm so tempted to just fast forward through
I'm
every single
over it.
one of their scenes. So I don't want to spend too much time on Marissa and Edward. Marissa meets up with her mother. They have a conversation about Marissa's feelings towards her relationship with Edward. Her mother's telling her, you got to come to grips with the reality of your situation. He may not be the man for you. And once again, I have to point out how much younger Marissa's mother looks than Marissa. It's crazy to me. And Marissa's mother doesn't even look like she's had any work done.
No,
But
she does.
anyways, and Marissa, you need to go to the hairdresser. Get your hair done. Jeez Louise, I'm tired of seeing your hair look a mess. Um, so Marissa has a one-on-one conversation with Edward. Edward tells Marissa, if I say something, you get an attitude with me. If I don't say something, you get an attitude with me that way. So Edward feels as though there's no way for him to win in this relationship. And Marissa wants to have these conversations, but she's not being specific with the things that are bothering her about Edward in their relationship. And she just makes it very vague as though he's doing nothing and she wants him to do everything. And you have to be specific in these types of situations. If you feel as though your partner is doing something specifically wrong towards you or specifically something that gets on your nerves, you have to be specific in the conversation in which you are addressing the issues. And Marissa is being so vague in everything that she's saying to Edward, in her frustrations concerning their relationship. And it's like, can you be specific on what you want him to do exactly what you want him to do? And that's what Edward is asking
Yes,
for.
exactly. Be more specific. Be more.
Edward is asking for specifics as to how he can be better and do better, but Marissa is not giving him that
She,
information, and that is so unfair to Edward. And when I saw the preview for the next episode where Marissa is talking to her friends about her relationship, it just turned me off. And to be honest, I don't know if I'm going to watch that scene in the next episode. I,
I'm
I
not going
really,
to either. I'm going to
I,
fast
I,
forward it.
I really don't know if I will be able to stomach Marissa talking bad about Edward to her friends who clearly have higher
I mean,
status.
I'll see about cover. I mean, I'll see about watching it, but I might have to fast forward that soon.
Yeah. Auntie Robin says, at a wedding, Reverend Washington asked the couple if nothing at all about the other changes, can you see yourself with this person for the rest of your life? Truth is, we don't always change. That is very true. A lot of times adults have a very hard time changing. Auntie Robin says to Jojo Speaks, no, you did not just say that, Jojo. What do you mean? What did I say that you can't believe I said, Lady Virgo? Let me know down in the comments, girl, because I've said a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whatever
Um,
you say, Aunt Robin, that you don't agree with, 'cause I don't know what I said.
yeah, and Auntie Robin says, more importantly, you don't marry potential. Exactly. Exactly. Don't get into a relationship with someone just based off of the potential where you think that they might be in 5 years or 10 years. You have to judge them off of what you see now. What you see now. You have to judge them off of what you see now. And I don't know what potential Marissa might have seen in Edward. I think she just saw a fine young looking Dominican man that she wanted some dick from. That's it. Olivia's here. Hey Olivia.
Hey,
Olivia says,
Olivia.
"Hey everyone. Hope everyone is having a great Monday. We are Olivia. Hope you are doing the same."
Thank you.
Dustin, what were your thoughts on Marissa and Edward this episode? Because I was just rolling my eyes the entire time. They're insufferable to me.
To be honest with you, Jonathan, I wasn't really. I don't really have that much to say about these couples. I mean,
Understood.
about this couple here. But I just want them to be happy and to be. I don't think you're either one of them happy. So, and like I say, life is too short to be going through this. But
Hmm.
that's my opinion. I don't. Marissa and Edward, I don't
Yeah.
really like them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, when it comes to Marissa and Edward, we have the same comments pretty much every week when it comes to their situation. Really, that's the case for almost all of these couples.
Right.
But, anyways, Lady Virgo says hello to Olivia. She says, hey, 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 happy Monday. So great that you guys are greeting each other in the comments. I love to see it, you guys. I love to see it. Yeah, I have a feeling that I might have to skip Marissa and Edward for next week's review. I don't know. I just hate seeing their situation. I hate seeing them together. I don't like it at all. And then Olivia says hello to Lady Virgo. So let's move on. Oh, we only have two couples left. I'm glad that we did this fast because I can't spend too much time talking about all these people. Anyways, so let's move on to Aisha and Maxwell. So Aisha and Maxwell, they're having a little bit of dinner, and they're going to reveal to their parents that they have decided that they're going to go ahead with the spousal visa and get married.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think she agreed with. I don't
and
think the
this
mom agree. I don't think the mom agrees with that.
doesn't seem like that. Oh, which mom? Maxwell's mom or Aisha's mom?
I don't think that. I don't think her mom agrees with that.
At Aisha's mom, you don't think she agrees with it?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Wow. Well, we saw in this episode that Maxwell's mom revealed to Maxwell's sister.
Yeah, that's what I
Uh,
was talking about. Yeah, I don't think she agrees with it. I don't think anybody agrees with it, but they're going to do what they want to do, and I figured it out. They're going to figure it out themselves. But I don't know. I just don't think I don't think they're going to agree with it part. Mm-mm.
gotcha.
I don't. Think,
So
I don't see that. I don't see their. if they do get married, Jonathan, I don't see it lasting very long because, to be honest with you, she gets on my nerves a lot. So I don't think she's gonna. I don't think they're both gonna last. Hmm. They
Yeah,
might,
Max
they might last for a little bit, but they're not gonna last for the whole thing.
Maxwell's mother goes on to tell Maxwell's sister that Aisha is 38 years old, and Aisha and Maxwell's sister is completely shocked by this news, just as shocked as Maxwell's mother was by this news, and they are not seeing this as a great thing. And then Aisha and
We're not
Maxwell
saying we don't
come
think eye to
in
eye.
to tell their parents that they decided that they want to get married, and the Maxwell's parents are not here for it at all. And then Maxwell's sister said something that really stood out to me. She said, "I'm nervous about the way that you're treating my brother, and I have a feeling that if Maxwell's family end up at the tell-all and they've seen the way that Aisha has been treating Maxwell all season long, I hope that they're able to encourage Maxwell to end this relationship." And I've been trying to think of why is it that Maxwell is staying with Aisha? She clearly does not
I don't
respect
know.
him or his decisions. She clearly doesn't, trust him at all. So why is she with him? And I think Maxwell just really wants to get over to America. And I think he feels as though this is his best way of doing so. So
I don't know. I don't
it
know.
is what it is. Let's move on to some comments before we move forward. Lady Virgo says, "JoJo sounds like you are so over this season and these couples already. I don't blame you. Yeah, I am kind of over it, Lady Virgo. I am not all the couples because I do enjoy seeing like
Well, the
big.
only couple that I don't agree with, I don't. There's a lot of there's the only couple that I'm totally over is Marissa and Edward. The rest of the couples, I hope they work out for each other, but I don't think they're going to work out.
I'm over Marissa and Edward. I'm over Katie and Josh.
And Katie
At
and
this
Josh,
point,
I'm
I'm
over
over
them.
Maxwell and Aisha. I'm over half of these couples, to be honest. Um, got two other comments here. Olivia says, if Aisha doesn't have kids, it won't last long, for sure. I agree with that because Maxwell's family, they want some grandbabies. And then Lady Virgo has a shocking emoji and then a crying emoji. Yeah, so you know, Maxwell's parents are not really getting down with this whole idea of them getting married. And Maxwell's sister is really harping on the whole age thing. And Aisha is still beating this dead horse of God preordaining her and Maxwell's relationship. I don't
I don't.
suggest that
Mm-mm.
anyone out there puts God's name on your mess. Don't put God's name on your mess. That is damn near blasphemy to me because I don't feel whatsoever that this relationship is ordained. Are there ordained relationships out there? I'm sure there are. It ain't Aisha and Maxwell. And then Maxwell's mother does something very interesting after Maxwell's father says, you know what, maybe this might work out. And Maxwell's mother says, right after Aisha says this in the confessionals, Abraham's wife Sarah did not have her first child until she was in her 90s. I believe she was 93 or 94. So they believe that God will bless Aisha and Maxwell with a child. And the way that Aisha manipulated Maxwell's family to turn this around to a whole God and Christianity thing is so manipulative. It reminds me of Coach in his South Pacific season where he made it to the final three on Survivor, and he was using God in the same exact way to manipulate the people on his tribe and manipulate the people on the other tribe to make it to the final three. Now, it worked. He got to the final three with two of his allies. He didn't end up winning, which I'm so glad that he didn't. But, you know, when you put God into the equation, it tends to validate everything that you say, and to me, that is not fair to anyone, but it's especially not fair to God because we are supposed to be representations of Him on this earth, and if we're spreading lies about His wants for His people, it's not going to turn out well for you in the end. I'll just leave it at that. Olivia says here, facts. She is blasphemous for sure. It's ridiculous and it's so cringy. Um, because I know how I would feel if people were putting my name on bullshit,
Mm.
and I can
You
only
know how I
imagine
would feel too,
how
because I
Lily
wouldn't put
feels
up
about
with it.
that. Olivia also says she weaponizes God and it's so cringe. Yes, and disturbing to watch. It is so cringe and disturbing to watch for me too, Olivia. With myself as a Christian, like I have a feeling like I know how we're supposed to do this Christian walk, and that ain't how you do it. That ain't how you do it at all. And then Olivia finally says the parents want him to live in the U.S. Clearly, I think and that's why they are okay with it. I think so too. I think they're just supporting Maxwell for whatever he wants to do. Um, but that's hard. That has to be hard for them because Aisha is a walking red flag. And then they end the whole dinner situation with a prayer. It felt so fake to me. So fake to me. When you're praying for the cameras, I'm sorry. I have no respect for you whatsoever. Dustin, what are your thoughts on Maxwell and Aisha?
All I'm gonna say here, Jonathan, is I'm gonna pray for this couple because that's all I can do right now is pray for this couple to work out.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I don't have anything good to say, so I'm not gonna say, you know what I mean. I feel like there's a lot of bad things coming down their pipeline, and I feel like there's gonna be possibly a lot of changes, and she's not ready for them. Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
I don't like the way she's going about it, to be honest. And I don't like the. Mm-hmm, I
I
don't
don't
like.
like it either. And if Maxwell's goal is to just get over to America, if that's the case, then that means that Maxwell's probably not going to leave Asia. And I don't see Asia leaving Maxwell for any reason whatsoever. I mean, she's already trying to do a build a nigga on the man, change everything that she sees as problematic about him. And I don't know why he doesn't see that as problematic, but it is what it is. But let's move on to our last couple. We're doing really good with time, you guys. We should do this more often. Just keep it short and sweet. Let's end off with Rosh and Mallory. I have to admit to you guys something. Mallory has become my probably my favorite female on 90 Day Fiance of
Me
all time.
too. I
She
really
is
like Mallory.
she is so mature for her age. She's only 29 years old, but she's so mature for her age. And I think that's because of her life experiences. Her parents divorced when she was 10 years old. She's been involved in a fatal car accident that had her lose, a large part of her intestines. Like, she's been through a lot. So she seems to know better. And she seems to be a lot more mature than Raj. Auntie Robin says down in the comments, um, the only one who has noticed that most of the couples are wearing wedding bands. I haven't noticed that at all. I haven't noticed that at all. I'll have to go back and watch it to try to catch it. Um, but Rosh and Mallory, they're dealing with the aftermath of their whole conversation about a prenup. So they're going to Rosh's first baseball game ever. He's never been to a baseball game before. Mallory apparently knows someone who's like an organizer for the game, and Rosh is going to throw the first pitch. Now, I was a little bit nervous for Rosh. I don't know if he was going to throw a good pitch or not, but he ended up throwing a pretty decent pitch. It wasn't like a professional pitch in any way, shape, or form. But I thought he threw a pretty good pitch personally. Um, let's see. Auntie Robin's got two more comments down here. Auntie Robin says, Rosh lost me this episode. He is unnecessarily, excuse me, I'm sorry, rude and difficult. There is no reason for him to treat Brandon or Brandy so poorly. I agree with that wholeheartedly, Auntie Robin. That got on my last good nerve too. Olivia says to Auntie, maybe their engagement bands. That could be it. I'm thinking that probably is the
It could
case
be it too. I agree.
that they're probably engagement bands, especially since we've seen zero wedding ceremonies this season. Olivia says, "Yeah, Raj lost me too. He's a bitch. Sorry, not not sorry. You're entitled to your opinion, Olivia, but he was definitely acting like a bitch on this episode. That's for sure. I can agree with you wholeheartedly on that." Auntie Robin says, "Raj and the earring. I never noticed that before. I feel like he is turning into Mr. Scam likely. Oh my gosh. I hope that Rosh is not a scammer. I know Olivia brought up this possibility on a previous review. I don't see it, but maybe that's because I like him and his personality, even though he disappointed me in this
I don't
particular
think he's a scammer.
episode. But it is what it is. Auntie Robin also says, right on point, Olivia. Yeah, I guess Olivia and Auntie Robin are thinking the same thing when it comes to Raj. Y'all might be right. I hope that you guys aren't right, but y'all just might be right. And I'm just wearing rose-colored glasses when it comes to Raj. Olivia says he is making all these demands, right? Asking for her money, not wanting to enjoy the baseball game, and ruined the event for all of her friends. Yeah, not a fan of his anymore. You know, Raj definitely did disappoint me in this episode. When they first get to the game, Brandon is there as well as Mallory's best friend, and Mallory's best friend's husband is there. And Raj goes on to shake the hand of Mallory's friend's husband, and then he completely ignores Brandon as though he's not there. Which did not surprise me, but I was really disappointed to see him doing that. Um, it's crazy to me. It is crazy to me. Olivia also says down in the comments, I don't know if you know the content creator Julian Higgins. Yes, Auntie Robin brought him up last review. But Rosh has been beefing with him. Oh, over his review of the show. He's a weirdo. Wow. Yeah, and I know Aisha has been talking about Julian as well. Went back and forth. Well, didn't go back and forth, but I saw Julian's entire video about her talking about him on one of her lives.
Yeah, I've
So
seen that too.
yeah.
Hmm.
So Rosh throws out the first pitch. She does a decent job. And then they get to the stands and they're about to sit down. And Mallory is about to sit down next to Brandon. And Rosh says, no, 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 let's switch seats. So I I don't know if Raj doesn't trust Mallory not to sleep with Brandon again, or if he's just upset and bothered with the fact that Brandon and Mallory did have a past sexually, and he's just very uncomfortable with that. But either way, it's time for him to get over it. I'm sorry. As attractive as I think Raj is, which I do think he's very attractive, and I love, 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 love his personality. But this little thing, and that's the thing about Raj and Mallory, is like they seem like such a loving couple, you guys. But this one little thing with Brandon is causing a rift between them. And I think that is just so sad. Olivia says down in the comments to Auntie Robin, he also said F you to Brandon. Right, he definitely did say that when Brandon left him to talk to his buddy. Can't stand him this episode. He was winning the whole time. Yeah, I really have no other words about Ross at this point. I'm so disappointed in his behavior. I'm so disappointed in his behavior. Olivia also says if he doesn't trust if she doesn't trust them not to be intimate again, then why is he demanding her money? Right. And
Hmm.
then in parentheses says giving scammer. Yeah, I see what you mean, Olivia. I see what you mean. You wear me down, girl. And then Auntie Robin says, I think that Raj is trying to assert his dominance in the relationship for sure. Prenuptially, his contribution to this relationship is quite minimal at this point. He needs to chill. I agree with that wholeheartedly with you on that as well, Auntie Robin. Um, you know, Mallory then goes on to say, "Well, I think it's best for you guys to just squash this." And then when Mallory and her best friend and Brandon, for that matter, go off to get some bat beers that are in the shape of a bat. Mallory's friend's husband tries to tell Ross that Brandon is a good man. He means well. He only wants the best for Mallory. And Ross is still going with this line of, I don't want them to have contact. I think that is so unfair for Mallory. And I would not blame Mallory if she left Ross because he could not get over his jealousy concerning Brandon. Dustin, what are your thoughts on Mallory and Ross? And do you think they'll ever get past this issue?
No, I do not, and I think it's awful for Mallory because I think Mallory is an awesome person, and I
Hmm.
think that I pray and hope that they get past it, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. That's the bad part. I don't see it happening anytime soon, and I hope this relationship can survive it. But if not, that's it to be. Uh, you know, the
Yeah,
people that I don't think that Ross understands it of how long they've been friends for, and I think that he's just trying to get underneath her skin, to be honest. And I don't know how that's going to happen, how that's going to affect everything. But I can hope and pray for him and hope they get it figured out.
for sure. Olivia says down in the comments, if he makes her choose, that's terrible. Yeah, he hasn't given her an ultimatum just yet, Olivia. However, I feel as though we're inching closer and closer to that point, so where he's going to try to force her to choose. And if I were Mallory, I choose Brandon over Raj. I'm sorry, Raj, but you're being so
He's being
unreasonable.
too he's being too controlling and unfeasible, in my opinion.
He's being so unreasonable, and as Dustin said, very controlling. And I'm not dealing with that. I'm sorry. No matter how much I like you or love you, if you can't get past this and if you don't trust me enough not to keep my legs closed when it comes to this man, then we have no business being together. Auntie Robin also says, I think Ross is trying to isolate Mallory. The setup for domestic abuse. That's taking it far, Auntie Robin. But I
But
see what you
honestly,
mean, though.
but honestly, Auntie Robin, I have to agree with you on this situation. I have to agree with you because there's a lot of couples that's been on this network that has had that situation happen. Uh, I'm not gonna name any names, but there's several 90 Day Fiance people that's been on the show in the past that's had the situation happen. So I hope and pray that that don't happen, but I'm preparing myself for the worst. I hope and
Yeah.
pray for it.
Um, we all know that a lot of domestic violence starts out with isolation. Um, I'd probably think along those lines, Auntie Robin, if he was trying to isolate her from all of her friends. But because it's just Brandon at this moment, I don't want to go that far just yet. But you might be onto something with that comment right there.
Right.
Olivia says down in the comments to Auntie Robin, agree. He is trying to isolate her. And then Olivia also says Tiger Lily and
I'm
Abram
not.
very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember the name, but I can't see their faces in my brain right now. But I do remember that Tiger Lily name.
Well, they're filming.
Yes. Now,
They're gonna be on the happily ever after season, so we can see.
ooh, I'm not looking forward to that. Auntie Robin says, I said abuse, not violence. Okay. Abuse. Yeah. Abusive. Well, yeah, that is abusive nature to try to isolate someone from someone that they find very near and dear to their heart. So it is what it is. I hope Mallory and Ross are able to figure it out because Mallory's clearly not going to stop being in communication with Brandon. And then we saw in the preview for the next episode that Brandon was in Mallory's house while they were having a conversation about this whole prenup. And it sounded like Brandon was taking Ross's side, saying that, Ross has come here from a different country. He's here all alone. You're his only loved one here in America. So it sounds like Brandon was trying to, make up and, show Ross that he's on his side. I don't know. Ross is going to be able to take that way. I have a feeling that he won't be able to take that way. But I'm glad
I don't
that
think so
Brandon is
either.
being the bigger man. I'm happy about that. I was going to tell y'all a fantasy I had in my mind while I was thinking about Brandon and Ross's situation, but I'm not going to put it on YouTube. But y'all can figure out what I might have been thinking in that way. But anyways, before we get out of here, Dustin, why don't you share with the good people your social media contacts real quick?
My social media contacts are Dustin Butler 700. My Facebook is Dustin Butler. My TikTok is Dustin Butler 24. I want to thank
Awesome.
I want to thank Jonathan for being here as well. I always want to thank my whole entire team for being here. I hope Jennifer gets home. I hope Jennifer and Tyrone uh, travel okay if they're both traveling. So I hope everything goes well, and I hope love you, Jennifer. Hope you see this. And hope you see.
Absolutely. As I stated, I don't know if I said it earlier in the review. I think I did. Jennifer is currently in Missouri with my father. My father's birthday is coming up this week on the 17th, which is this Friday. And so he's going out to St. Louis, Missouri to see the Clydesdales, the large horses that be in those commercials. And he's always wanted to see that as well as the arch itself in St. Louis, Missouri. So my sister Jennifer, Prophetic Fire Reiki, and my father are there right now. They landed not too long ago, and they'll be there until Wednesday, I think. So Jennifer will not be going live tonight at 8 p.m. for Prophetic Fire Reiki. So please don't be looking for Jennifer tonight. She will not be going live at 8 p.m. Okay, you guys? Be sure to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is Jojo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is williamjonathanlee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $Jonathan Lee 07. That's $JONATHANLEE07. Be sure to join me on Thursday with my sister Prophetic Fire Reiki, as well as our friend Bianca Edwards for my live Hot Topics and Social Commentary show at 8 p.m. I go live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. with those two lovely ladies. We always have a great time talking about the latest happenings and goings on in the world. So join us every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Also, as I stated before, be on the lookout for my reviews for RuPaul's Drag Race, as well as the Real Housewives of Atlanta, at least by the end of the day on Wednesday. Love you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week. Hope you guys have a great week. Love you guys. Bye, y'all.